Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra with me, Shel Patnagar, and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the closing action on the D Street. Looks like we have softened a little bit more from the morning trade now, about 70 points of a trade lower on the Nifty. 25,060 is where the Nifty is right now trading at. For this one, small caps are doing well, 0.6% higher in trade. But remember, it was the IT space that was in the thick of action right in the morning. That slipped in the red now. We are seeing some profits being taken off the table as far as the IT space is concerned. The index itself is down 0.2% lower in trade. On the Nifty, you have ICICI Bank that's pulled up about 2% higher. It's the top mover right there. Bharti Airtel still strong at 1.7% up. You also have the OMCs like BPCL, HPCL doing well in the markets right now. Asian Paints, Bharat Electronics are some of the other stocks that are pulling up into the green as far as the Nifty is concerned. On the lower side, Bajaj Auto has slipped over 3% in trade at 11,534. You have Wipro, Bajaj Finance, Hindalco, HDFC Life and RIL, which is now down 2% in trade at 2690 odd levels. These are the top drags as far as the markets are concerned. Good afternoon, Shel.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. What's really interesting is that we were hoping for the markets to rise beyond 25 to 50 today. They barely managed 25 to 12. But what is happening is the test of 25,000. It essentially means that before the Nifty is trying to go up further, it's sort of consolidating the gains that it has made above 25,000, and perhaps that is the test that is happening. Sakshi, a very narrow trading range as far as the index is concerned. You have a high of 25,212 and a low of 25,008. When you look at the bank Nifty, it's in the green mainly because of strength that you are seeing in terms of the gains that are there on the screen. But again, not much of a range change that has happened in the markets, and broader markets as well, except the capital market space. When you look at Angel One, when you look at BSE, when you look at CDSL, there are very low volumes across the board. Today's top traded counter is Angel One. This was yesterday's BTST by Kunal Rambia, now crossed the 3,000 mark once again, 13% higher, and I think the volumes have topped 5,000 crores as far as the traded quantity is concerned. Fantastic set of second quarter earnings, and it's lit up the market, at least the capital market space, Sakshi. So that it is. And apart from that, just minor gains or minus losses. I think the markets want to rest on Tuesday.
Okay, let's get in Jay Thakkar now with us. He's the guest joining in now, Head of Derivatives and Quant Research, Vice President at ICICI Securities. Warm welcome to you, Jay, and good to have you with us. As Shel points out, probably it's a rest day for the markets. How are you really looking at the market setup right now? Some more rest to go, or before we actually see festive spirits enthuse the markets?
Hi, very good afternoon to you, Sakshi and Shel, and thanks for having me on Business Today. I would say that yes, it can be one more day of consolidation. I mean, if you see, Sakshi, Nifty has been consolidating after bounce back post 6 days of consecutive sell-off which we had seen in markets. Nifty managed to bounce back from the levels of say 24,700 approximately to 25,200. But then since couple of days now, it's been trading within this range of 25,200 to 24,900. So that's 200-300 points range. And the Bank Nifty rather, I would say, has managed to perform quite well. I mean, in this bounce back. So after 6 days of fall, we didn't see Bank Nifty consolidating in a range. It rather broke out the upside and inched towards 52,000 as well. So relatively, Bank Nifty is better. It can test 52,500, and Nifty, in the best case scenario, can test 25,300 in this bounce back. But I'm taking this bounce back or consolidation as a counter trend, Sakshi. So the previous 6 days of fall was the clear downtrend or the trend reversal, post which we are just seeing this as a retracement. Once the retracement is over, I mean, probably, the probability for next leg down is higher.
Okay, that's an interesting point that you feel that this is a dead cat bounce which is working, and 25 200 250 was something that was difficult for bulls to overcome. Only time will tell whether that works out or not. But on a repeated basis, we have cautioned that what you see as an uptrend is actually a dead cat bounce. Whether that happens or not, only time will tell. But lots of actions actually in the broking space, and today's winner, apart from the very strong show at Angel One, is of course Motilal Oswal Securities. 932 for you, a record high, up 14%. The volume is unbelievable on this counter, and amongst the top 5-6 traded on the index, on the NSE 500. About 1 crore 13 lakh shares have been traded on Motilal Oswal Financial Services. Jay, don't you wish something similar happens to ICICI Securities? But you won't be commenting on it. Even if it does, we'll be very happy with your comment on Motilal Oswal.
Absolutely correct. I mean, as a disclaimer, I won't be able to comment on ICICI Securities, but then see, overall, I agree that this space is well in an uptrend. And we have been seeing the participants rather, share increasing in markets. We know that, whether it's the equity side or indirectly through mutual fund. So maybe that's the reason the stocks like Motilal Oswal or maybe Angel or CDSL is doing good.
Yes.
Even after, one more thing which I'll say, that BSE is also doing good. So one thing post the SEBI circular on the FNO on the derivatives, what has happened is there are a lot of speculations that the volumes of the bank Nifty is going to actually shift to Sensex. So quite much of that is going to be shifted into Sensex. The expiry is different for Sensex and Nifty, which is very much likely. And Nifty has already, or NSE has already announced that they're going to continue with the Nifty for the weekly expiry, and rest all will be for the monthly expiry. So 85% of the volume on the expiry day used to happen on the bank Nifty on Wednesday. If that goes away, and if we are, or the traders are left with Sensex, then probably I think Sensex is definitely benefiting out of it.
Chalo, let us see. In every dark cloud, there is always a silver lining. And over the last 25 years, Sakshi, I distinctly remember the first NSC training session for Nifty futures was held in Nehru Place in Delhi somewhere in 2001 when futures were launched. And I think the lot size was 100. And Nifty was somewhere like 1100-1200 types. From then on, about 10 years later, you had monthly options. 2 or 3 later, you had weekly options, and then you had weekly expiries. So life comes to a full circle. In all this time, all those people who traded in cash markets were treated as untouchables. इन्हें कुछ नहीं आता, ये बेकार के लोग हैं, इनको सिर्फ प्रॉफिट होता है, पता नहीं क्यों, लॉस तो ये बनाते ही नहीं. Now life has come to a full circle. Poor fellows like cash investors and long time investors will again come back into action. That's why BSE is rising, because they have a history of trading into cash stocks, and possibly that is a space where, see, brokerages, broking fee on options was very less, but broking fee on cash never disappeared. It's still 0.3%. It's only Zerodha which said कि इतना कम काम है कि आप free कर लो.
But then one point, Shelji, one point I would like to add is what's also happening is, I mean, with the rebate which the exchanges now have to take it back, so that will not be sharing with the exchanges, and because of which maybe the brokers, and because of which we also saw a few of the brokerage houses took the hit on the PAT side. Now what's going to happen? I mean, few of them have already announced that they're going to increase the brokerage. So hence, so there is no more going to be discount broking, and everyone is the full service broking. So this will definitely have a positive impact on the PAT. That's point. And then of course, things shifting to BSE would have an impact of around 20-25% as per my calculation arithmetically. What I've done on weekly expiry, getting waived off, and So there's around 20-25% hit on the derivatives ADTO, but then that can be made good by increasing a bit of brokerages, so the PAT is not, or the bottom line is not impacted.
You know, and Sakshi, what has happened in the last 15-20 years, the broking industry has contracted.
Yeah.
There were at least 1,000 brokers in India. Now they are less than 20. And when they are less than 20, the market size has gone from a couple of lakh investors to 15-16 crore rupees. So this is what is happening in the broking industry, where concentration of business is happening. Zerodha, which is unlisted, has 50% of broking profit. 4,700 crores, if I remember, was their profit number. And the rest, 4,700 crores is between 19 brokers. So that is what is happening. But good times are coming for broking, and that's reflected in the price of Motilal Oswal Financial Services. Look at Angel One. I think it went all the way up to 3,500.
14% higher in
Yeah.
trade,
Today it's up 13-14%. But the previous peak, if I remember correctly, is 3,500, if I'm not wrong. And from 3,500, it went all the way down to 2,200. And again, I think 2,000. I think it went below 2,000 also, 1,500. I remember a most recent low. We'll just check it out. And from then on, it's
it did go to 2025, and the peak was around 2,900. So
okay.
it was almost corrected by 50% from 4,000 to 2,000.
Okay, okay, yeah. Here is what I have. The peak was, you are right. Oh, the peak was 3,800.
3,900.
Yes, and from 3,800 it went down to 2,000. Wow. So that's what 1,800 on 3,800, easily 35-36%. So that's how it is, ladies and gentlemen. And from the monthly charts, from the weekly charts at least, it's very clear that better days are ahead for Angel One. कहाँ से कहाँ discussion पहुँच गया?
I know, it's very interesting. We're talking about the index as a whole, the basket of capital market stocks also.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there is a new one that's called Nifty Capital Markets. We still have to find a value for it, but it's indexed to 1,000 starting April 2019. We don't have a fresh value for it because I think it's in the process of being calculated, but all these stocks that we are talking about, BSE, CDSL, CAMS, KFintech, Angel One, your ICICI Securities, Motilal Oswal, JM, all of them are there.
And Shelji, one more thing which I would like to add with this discussion, that this clearly shows that the domestic participants are increasing. I mean, they have already supported the markets quite a lot. I mean, if we see since past so many years now, the FIIs have been net sellers into the Indian market. I mean, in the recent fall as well, I mean, 15,000 crores of sell-off in the equity cash segment, 10,000, 15,000. I mean, all put together 25,000, 24,000, including the FII. I mean, had it been few years back, I mean, even before 2020 or maybe 2018, there would have been a lower circle, I believe. Then the kind of depth which we are seeing now in the market, overall selling is getting absorbed by the domestic participants, and that's clearly showing the strength of the Indian markets.
And Sakshi, I think it was today morning or yesterday morning, one of the guests was pointing out that you think 16 crores demats is enough. You are sadly mistaken. If the working population is 50-60 crore individuals, then you must have one demat account for each one. Okay, 50%, फिर भी 25 crore. So that is what is boosting this growth. It so happens that sometimes stocks go through the roof and then they come down, and that's what happened at Angel. Look at Motilal Oswal, I again say, and Motilal Oswal Securities is actually a 1:1 stock split. The price that you see of 900 rupees is actually 1,800 rupees. In the blink of an eye, their mutual fund operation is now 1 lakh crore rupees. And ठक्कर साहब, आपकी कंपनी डीलिस्ट होना चाह रही थी कि सारे पैसे खुद ही इंजॉय करें, बेचारे शेयर होल्डर को कुछ तो छोड़ दीजिए.
shareholders are getting ICICI Bank.
So, Sakshi, another anecdote I remember. There was a time when ICICI Bank had a demat license
Okay.
and there was no securities business.
Okay.
So, in 1998-97, when I first opened my demat, there was just the demat. There was no trading operation at ICICI Bank. So, you had to link your ICICI demat to some other broker where you could trade, and then maybe Adan Pradan app you could do in demats. ICICI Securities came as an afterthought. Thakkar साहब ये आपसे पहले हुआ.
Yeah, ये 2000 में आया फिर
Correct.
thereafter. Right, so you're right. So then that is where I started trading as well.
Correct. And now we are waiting for the IPO of NSDL. Please apply, everybody. Sakshi,
Absolutely,
yours.
and that's why we are seeing CDSL the way it has been creating wealth for investors. 2024 has been a great year for CDSL too, and several such stocks within the capital market space. And maybe this is just the beginning of the rally that we are actually witnessing, what could be unfolding over the next many years. This is one space that we will come back to, but this has been a very enlightening conversation, and understanding the depth of the markets from in long time frame period as well. Let's get back to the markets now, and 25,044, that's a 0.3% of a loss on the Nifty. It's still lying low at this point in time. But Jay, how are you really placed in this kind of a market setup? Are you aggressively buying into those stocks that have actually come into attractive valuations over the last 1 week, 10 days odd? Or are you going to be still watching out for whether this thing has a deeper cut to be seen?
Yeah, so actually, my view is that this is a dead cat bounce, or it's just a contra trend against the overall downtrend which we saw earlier. Hence, I mean, but then from a trading angle, definitely whenever you have this kind of contra trend, a meaningful one, or maybe 500 or 600 points at least, or maybe 1,000 to 1,200 points on a bank nifty, likewise, one needs to be being into that as well and trading that as well. So definitely, I think that banking has bounced back quite a lot, so would not be participating there or not be recommending there, but then few selective stocks probably from Nifty or from other non-banking and financial stocks. I think there, if whatever bounce is pending on the upside, that can come, so one can go along there. Otherwise, net one has to be on the lighter side as far as long positions are concerned. So probably when the Sakshi the overall trend is bullish, I may be long 10 on 10. So if I have 10 positions, all the positions are long. Right now in a counter trend, probably if I can take 10 positions, but I will take only 3 or 4 selectively. Remaining I'll wait because I know that it's a counter trend. So whenever the trend reverses, probably I need to reverse from long to short.
Sakshi, what's really interesting is since morning we were pointing out this contra trade on crude oil via OMCs and via paint companies, via Indigo. Jay, any favorites here? I think a secular trend has been re-established in OMCs at least. Any favorite that you would have between HPCL, BPCL, or would you prefer Pidilite, Asian Paints? What would be your first two picks?
Well, it would be OMCs definitely. Because see, Pidilite definitely has been performing, but then Asian Paints has been consolidating in a very broader range since many months or quarters now. So that's in a non-directional zone right now. It's trading within a larger consolidation mode. So I would be ignoring Asian Paints. Definitely, if I have to sequence it, then it would be first BPCL. Okay, because I think that the stock has been consolidating, thereafter providing breakouts and then moving higher. So 346 is where it is right now. I believe that going forward, 320 would act as a very crucial support in the short term till those levels are held. The probability of 380 is quite higher, so that would be my first recommendation. And sequentially, I would say that Pidilite I would order second in this list because I think that that's been an overall performer as well. It's been trading in an upward sloping channel, just come to the lower end of the channel. So I think that 3060 would now be a very crucial support. With that as a stop loss, one can go long on Pidilite, targeting positionally 3400 plus levels. So BPCL and Pidilite, and there of course if it all I have to add anything, then it would be HPCL. But then risk reward perspective, I find BPCL better.
Okay, got it. So that's as far as the OMCs are concerned. The other space that's pulled up today is the real estate space. What is happening here, Jay? How are you really looking at these stories unfold? So Raymond is up 4.5%, Sobha is up 5%, Brigade, Prestige, Godrej Properties, all of them up and about. Is there more steam left? What's really happening here?
I think the overall Sakshi realty pack is in a sideways consolidating. If you see Nifty realty, I mean that's clearly I think it has entered into a range, and that range is going to be of 1150 to probably 1000. So Nifty realty index is likely to trade within that range of 1000 to 1500. Probably I'm anticipating that it might form a triangular pattern, and post consolidation we'll see a breakout. But then till that happens, stock specific movements are likely to happen, and one of which is Oberoi Realty. I mean, you see the kind of reversal which we have seen in Oberoi, and it has taken off its multiple swing resistances of around 1960, 1950 levels. It's a very clear breakout out there. We are seeing already long build up as well from the derivatives data. So positional perspective, I think Oberoi Realty is good. Relatively to other stocks in or maybe FNO stocks in realty pack, and if at all there is a dip towards 1950, one can add as well. I think going forward one can place a stop loss below 1900. So buy now. If at all it dips around 1950, add more. Stop loss below 1900. The range was of 250, 300 points. From here on positionally, I think it's heading towards 2200, 2300.
Okay.
Actually, Sakshi, Mumbai real estate is doing very, very well. Oberoi's, of course, is a counter where the premium quality of Mumbai real estate is sold. But look at macro developers. वैसे तो the rates in Mumbai मतलब क्या कह दें 1-2 BHK in Mumbai in Lower Parel can possibly buy 4 BHKs in Delhi, but that's how it is. And this trend has accelerated since September 15th, September 18th, when the US rate cut was announced, and there were hopes that India would follow soon. But yesterday's CPI inflation number may perhaps put a spanner in that wheel, and not in December, but maybe in February, you just might see a rate cut that might happen. Another interesting space which is doing pretty well is, let's look at the all-time highs today. So many of them we've discussed. Okay.
Coforge. I have a question for you. मुझे ये बताइए, what do you think? I mean, this is my perception, this is what I think, and I've analyzed that since COVID lows, ये देखने मिला है कि आपका real estate bottom हो गया जोर से, and equity भी bottom हो गया. And since the COVID lows, we have seen both real estate and equity, stock or maybe index, in just one way, that's up, unidirectional, right, overall. So I think that somehow they have started correlating to each other positively since the COVID lows. जब तक आपका पैसा चल रहा है, आई थिंक रियल एस्टेट चल रहा है. आई मीन यहाँ पे कमा रहे लोग और किधर डाल रहे हैं. सो अर्निंग ईयर आप प्रॉफिट से आप खुश होते हो तो आप लग्जरी में यू एडवांस है. जैसे आपने कहा कि 1-2 BHK मुंबई में, तो आप 2 BHK में हो, अपने और पैसे कमा, आप 3 BHK में मूव आउट कर रहे हो. लाइकवाइज दिस इज व्हाट आई एम एक्चुअली कोरिलेटिंग. आई वुड लाइक टू नो योर थॉट्स एज वेल.
टक्कर साहब, आप जैसे ट्रेडर हैं ना, वो ही कमा रहे हैं. वो जो सेबी का एक वो स्टडी आया था ना, 93% और 7%, वो 7% में आप हैं, बाकी सब बेचारे उनका नुकसान हो जा रहा है. लेकिन वो 7% ही बहुत हैं इतने बड़े बड़े फ्लैट्स खरीदने को. आई थिंक आफ्टर Sakshi 32 years in the markets, I have this one very big theory. The theory is that कहानियों पे बाजार चलाते हैं लोग. घर वर अब पता नहीं बिक रहे नहीं बिक रहे, लेकिन ये है कि रजिस्ट्रेशन ज़्यादा हो रहे हैं, 100 करोड़ रुपए के घर बिक रहे हैं, और जिन बेचारों को घर चाहिए 50 लाख रुपए के, 40 लाख रुपए के, उनके लिए ठक्कर साहब घर ही नहीं बनवाते. But the correlation is indeed in place, and all evidence suggests that with the advent of working out of home, a lot of people
buying bigger houses.
Yes. If they are buying a house, they are buying a bigger house. It's not as if कि कोविड आ गया तो हमें बड़ा घर चाहिए, लेकिन अगर हमें घर चाहिए तो अब हम बड़ा वाला खरीदेंगे. And that's also happened in the premiumization of cars
Yeah.
and almost everything. Sakshi, you and I remember,
SUVs, yeah.
yes, you know, Jay, all media houses were working for 24 hours in the peak of COVID also.
Yeah.
And all transport was arranged by respective media channels. And within cars, there were barricades.
Yeah.
So, larger cars, of course, are the need of the hour. And you look at how Hyundai's IPO, where Hyundai has lost market share to Tata Motors and Mahindra and Mahindra, M&M. Why? Because they make SUVs.
SUVs, correct.
तो ये सब हो रहा है ठक्कर साहब, प्रीमियमाइजेशन ऑफ इंडिया. वो वाली बात कहते हैं ना कि HMT की घड़ी नहीं बिकती, ओमेगा की घड़ी के लिए वेटिंग लिस्ट है.
That's
Look at the price of Ethos watches.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's a multi-bagger in its own right.
Yeah.
So that
There are
is
WhatsApp groups you were telling me, I think, of top CEOs who actually share their own valued watches on the groups to say if anybody wants
Thakkar
to
sahab,
buy their watch.
in Delhi there are husband and wife couples who have a watch portfolio,
Yeah.
20 crore rupees each. सोचिए, मतलब कहाँ एस्पिरेशन चली गई और कहाँ हम.
शेयर जी मैंने शूज पर भी देखे, मेरे कुछ फ्रेंड्स हैं, उनके बच्चे हैं 1.5 लाख 2 लाख 5 लाख के शूज ले रहे हैं. ये नया ट्रेंड है लाइफ में. मैंने कभी 5x के शूज नहीं लिए और लेते हैं, और ये भी कहते हैं कि अगर इन्हें रखे और इसका स्टॉक लिमिटेड होता है तो गोइंग फॉरवर्ड ये 5 लाख के 7 लाख में भी बिकते हैं.
क्या बात है.
ये
ये सब व्हाट्सएप की हवा है. वो एक दिन ना, वो एक दिन बस समय थम जाएगा. मैंने ये देखा है.
ये देख के खुशी होती है. वो गाना याद आता है कि वो जो
कौन सा?
याद आता है कि मेरा देश बदल रहा है अब आगे बढ़ रहा है.
नहीं, इंडीड बदल रहा है. बट यू सी एवरीवेयर साक्षी देयर इज अ फ्रॉथ. See, underlying trend is very good, very sharp, very strong. But some parts there are froth. अब आप देखिए ठक्कर साहब, आप पढ़ना ही नहीं चाहते मुंबई में कि किसी ने 14 करोड़ का फ्लैट खरीदा. जब तक कि 100-125 करोड़ का नंबर नहीं आता, तब तक वो हेडलाइन ही नहीं बनती.
Absolutely.
है ना. और रहेंगे उसमें 2 लोग. अब दिल्ली में साक्षी, you were holidaying last week, but a new project has been launched in DLF next to Camellias,
Okay, yeah.
and each flat is 100 crores.
100 crores because they managed to sell off one in Camellias
Yeah.
for 100. Now they've launched, like there is
है ना?
इतना line है तो फिर क्यों नहीं?
बिल्कुल. आप देखिए ठक्कर साहब, आइए तशरीफ लाइए. 16,000 स्क्वायर फीट का फ्लैट है. देखिए दिल्ली में आपको वैल्यू फॉर मनी मिलता है.
That's very true.
है ना. आप बेचते हैं मुंबई में 3500 स्क्वायर फीट का फ्लैट 100 करोड़ का. दिल्ली में 16,000 स्क्वायर
Live
फीट
life
मिलता
king
है.
size. Like truly king size.
So actually they have 2 options. I don't know which one you will choose, but it is my job to tell you because you were away on holiday. So you have 16,000 square feet and you have 9,000 square feet.
I can't buy either. I know that, but yeah, it's good to know that there are people who are actually buying this. Deep-pocketed people like Jay and you, maybe booking.
I'll buy DLF stock. आज ठक्कर साहब, आपको आप स्टॉक आइडिया नहीं दे रहे. आप हमसे ऐसी बातें करवा रहे हो. हम दोनों को आप ना इल्झा रहे हो कि हम डिफिकल्ट सवाल ना पूछें.
ना ऐसा नहीं है. डिफिकल्ट तो मैं कहूंगा कि मार्केट ही है एज ऑफ नाउ. आई मीन एज आई सेड, इट्स वेरी मच शेलजी इन रेंज. सो बट देन इन दिस साइडवेज कंसोलिडेटिंग मार्केट आई वुड से कि कुछ चुनिंदा विकल्प ही है मेरे पास. तो एक जो है भारत फॉर्ज. मैं देख रहा हूँ कि बहुत शॉर्ट्स बने हुए हैं. अगर आप देखें तो अक्टूबर सीरीज में ओवरऑल शॉर्ट्स बनते हुए देखने मिले हमें भारत फॉर्ज में. अब मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है शेलजी कि काफी ओवरसोल्ड हो चुका है. Really oversold, and I think there is a very high probability of a bounce back from here on. So it's trading around the levels of 1481 in spot, 1487, 88 in futures. I think futures perspective अगर मैं देखूँ तो 1465 का एक स्टॉप लॉस लगाकर यहाँ पे लॉन्ग पोजीशन बनाई जा सकती है ऑन दी अपसाइड. आई बिलीव दैट 1525, 1550 दिस कुड बी दी टू शॉर्ट टर्म टारगेट्स ऑन भारत फॉर्ज, mainly on account of technically bouncing back from the oversold territory and short covering expected in the FNO space. So that's the first buy recommendation. And second buy recommendation strategy which I have is on Deepak Nitrate. I
Yeah,
think that
that's
nitrate has technically provided a very good, bullish crossover in the short-term momentum indicators. And I think whatever fall which we had seen was clearly the form of a downward-sloping channel or maybe kind of a panning pattern from which it is expected to provide a breakout on the upside. And since momentum is back into the bullish zone, Deepak Nitrate can be bought at current levels trading around the levels of 29.37. I'm expecting this stock to inch towards 3100 first and thereafter 3170. So these are the two short-term targets, and the stop loss can be placed at 2860.
Okay. These are two fairly good counters that Jay has talked about. And meantime, while we were discussing aspirational part of life and 100 crore rupee flats, angel broking is up 18%. So when we started discussing this, it was up 13.
yeah.
Nevertheless, let's give it to the stock. 20% मान लेते हैं, 18 हो गया, 20 हो भी जाएगा.
बिल्कुल.
And another stock I'd request Jay to look at is 5-star Business Finance. The reason why I mentioned 5-star is I think about 4 weeks ago there was a block deal on 5-star, and 5-star I don't think so has done anything for many number of months.
Yeah.
Let's just look at the chart. I distinctly remember, yes, this is the one. Has a fresh wave started, Jay, in 5-star?
Absolutely. As a disclaimer, first of all, Shaji, I would like to say that this stock is under coverage of ICICI Direct
Okay.
fundamental research. Yeah, so this is what fundamentally we have recommended to the clients. And then, as you rightly said, that technically, if you look at this, then since month of say August 23, so it's nearly more than a year now that the stock did not or was not able to take off the swing resistance of around 850, 55. And it's a 1 year long consolidation strategy which we have seen coming in this stock. So definitely, those levels will now act as a support. So पहले जो resistance था वो निकल गया तो अब support बन जाता है. Technically very simple. So 850, 55 will act as a crucial support till those levels are held, and the range is quite big. So it was of almost 200 points range. जब तक ये levels hold out करते breakout करना closing basis, you can see this 200 points range shift on the upside. तो हम generally technically क्या करते हैं, जो भी range होती है ऊपर सुपर इम्पोज कर देते हैं. तो उस हिसाब से तो इसके टारगेट्स आपके 1050, 1150 होने चाहिए.
चलिए ठक्कर साहब, बड़ी बड़ी मेहरबानी, आपसे वार्तालाप हुई बड़े दिनों बाद, और we will remember Bharat Forge, we will remember Deepak Nitrite, and of course we will remember this wonderful conversation. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Thanks for having me. It was wonderful. Pleasure talking, and looking forward again as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Jay. All right, viewers, we will now welcome another guest on the show. We have Swati Hotkar, AVP Technical Research, Nirmal Bang now joining in with us to share with us her perspective on the markets and where will money be moving to going forward. Swati, warm welcome. Good afternoon to you. Tell us what strategies are you keeping in place in this current setup? We were discussing with Jay and he did say that the markets are very tough at this point in time. Is it getting more difficult or easier for you to actually pick stocks now?
Good afternoon, both of you. Definitely, market is really got stuck within the very tight range of almost 24,800 to 25,200. Within those 400 points, it's got stuck. Any breakout on either side will decide the clear trend of the market. But as of now, we are witnessing a very volatile trading sessions there. Where there is always a war between the bulls and the bears. Tug of war is going on. If the market surpasses 25,200 levels, Sakshi, then definitely the major bounce back can be seen into the market, which might take a Nifty towards to 25,600 to 700 levels. But looking towards the current market breadth, I believe we might witness some sort of a more selling pressure since both the indices are hovering nearby its short-term moving averages, say the 50 DMA. Any move below 24,800 will witness more sell-off, which might take a Nifty towards to 24,600, and even below that level supported by its 100 DMA. More or less, I will suggest that this market is a stock-specific market rather than concentrating on the Nifty or the Bank Nifty trades. One should definitely go for a stock-specific trading, but play with strict stop losses. That is the most important strategy one should use into such kind of a market.
Okay. Hello Swati, and a very warm welcome to you. Anything in terms of stocks that catches your attention on the charts? There is one part of the business in the market that's doing very well. It's the capital market space. Don't you so wish Nirmal Bang Securities were listed? आज भी एंजल की तरह 15-17% बढ़ा होता.
डेफिनेटली काफी अच्छे मोमेंटम्स रैली हमें नजर आ रही है पर्टिकुलर काउंटर्स में. आई विल सजेस्ट ऑन द रियलिटी पैक Sensex really looks very good. Even the results are coming up into this particular counters. The stock as of now was under the selling pressure, but today we have seen a very good volume base momentums. The stock manages to give the breakout of the previous resistance level. So I believe it has a very good breakout of 570 levels with decent volumes. We are likely to witness a more buying into this particular counter, which take us stocks towards to 630 to 620. So those who are looking for this particular sectors, one can go for a buy call on the Sensex, as well as the Prestige really looks good on this particular stocks. Why I'm just recommending this particular counters, because on the technical front, the stock has given the formation of the flat pattern. Today, it manages to give the breakout of that levels with the very decent volumes. The counter is trading about a 20 days moving average, and also the fact that it has given a cluster resistance breakout of at around 1880 levels. And I'm witnessing a very positive closing in this particular counter, up by almost more than 2.8%. So I believe this rally is likely to be extended towards at least minimum 1970 to 2000 levels. So one can go for a long positions. They can maintain the stop loss at around 1870 levels for a target of 1970 to 2000 levels.
Okay, got it. So that's as far as the buzzing real estate space is concerned. Swati, how would you look at ICICI Bank? It's now moved up 2% higher in trade. Do you think there is more steam, even though the banking index as a whole has been faltering? What would you say on these heavyweight banks like ICICI pulling up?
Yes, actually, already we have witnessed some sort of a correction from 1350 to almost 1220 levels. Now, from the last 2 days, we are witnessing sort of a pullback rally or say the reversal. But I believe this kind of a reversal will be a short-lived because the stock may go around up to at least 1270, 1280 levels resistance provided by its 20 DMA. Up to that level, we can witness some sort of a positive momentum. Then again, we will hit some profit booking in this particular counters. So I will not recommend any fresh long positions. For those who are having, they can definitely hold on by maintaining a strict stop loss or say the profit stop loss of 1230. That is acting as a crucial support level. So as long as that particular levels are hold, yes, we can witness some sort of a positive move. But over a period of time, we might witness some sort of a selling pressure in this particular counters. The view is a little bit cautious. Avoid a major long positions at the current market price. But the previous longs can definitely hold on by maintaining a stop loss of 1230.
Okay. ICICI Bank actually is the second best performing stock on the Nifty today, and of course it has the second highest weightage as well. It's only ICICI Bank which is holding the Nifty up, Nifty Bank up. See, Nifty is down 66 points. In this, ICICI Bank has contributed a positive 43 points. So if ICICI Bank were flat, then Nifty would have been down 100 points. So that is the strength that ICICI Bank is bringing to the table. It's more or less matched RIL's 2 percentage point loss, which is contributing 47 negative points. So Axis, Kotak are also down 7 and 6 points respectively, but it's very well used as a balancing tool by sensible traders to ensure that 25,000 is not broken on the Nifty. Yeah. It's tested, and then possibly you just might see some short covering tomorrow, which is the weekly expiry of the Bank Nifty, and Thursday of course brings the Nifty to the fore, but a very, very strong show. Let's see if there is any volume pressure on ICICI Bank in terms of average traded. No. In fact, actually, I wanted to highlight one important thing. When you look at the most active counters today, Angel One is the top traded, now 19% higher.
Wow.
1 percentage point is left. Reliance has heavy volumes because of the earnings show today, and then there are next to no volumes on HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank. 1300 crores, 1200 crores. CDSL has higher volumes than Infosys today.
Okay.
So you can well imagine that today's move on the markets is bereft of volumes, unless you are looking at Angel, unless you are looking at Reliance. Both of them are earnings led, and of course a very strong show coming into some of the capital market companies, Motilal Oswal, CDSL, HCLTech, again earnings led, and of course something really exciting happening on Motilal Oswal Financial Services. Would you want to stick your neck out, Swati, on MOFSL?
MOFSL, as of now, we are witnessing a very good momentum rally in this particular counter, almost up by 13%. If you look towards the technical setup, Shelji, definitely the counter is very strong. It's trading in the upward rising pattern, also the upward rising channel as well. So I'm looking for a target of at least 1000 levels on the high side. Very soon we will witness that the stock will enter into the 4-digit numbers. So 1000 is the target I'm looking forward. Downside, it has a very good support of 900 levels. So as soon as as long as it sustains above that level, definitely we are likely to hit the 4-digit very soon. So long positions can be held for a target of 1000 levels.
Okay. You know, some of these defense plays, shipbuilder stocks, they are also pulling up in trade today. Mazagon Dock is up 3%, Cochin is up 3%, Garden Reach is I think up 5% or so. Anything that could be sustainable here, Swati, in the fresh move within the shipbuilder space, or some more weight to go here?
As of now, I'm looking forward on the Cochin shipyard, even though the stock is under the T2T group. But the interesting fact that after a sharp correction, this particular counter has taken a very strong support of 200-day moving average, which comes to at around 1540 levels. Last week, we have seen it has touched the feet of a 200 DMA by a 1505 level has been sustainable on the closing basis. And as of now, we are witnessing a sideways momentum. We might witness some rounding pattern formation in this particular counter, and after that we will see some positiveness in this particular stocks, which might lead us stocks towards to 1900 levels. 50 DMA average is that lies up to that level. So definitely a positive momentum can be seen up to 1900, 1940 levels. Long positions can be created because risk reward ratio is really favorable at the current market price. Downside, it has a very crucial support at around 1600. So by maintaining that stop loss, you can carry out your long positions for immediate target of 1720. Then beyond that level, 1810 levels can be seen.
Fair point. 317, 13 minutes of trade are left, and Sakshi, there is a lot of consolidation and smart moves happening on Mazagon, Cochin, Garden Reach, Hindustan Aeronautics. We discussed HAL today early morning. All these stocks, after 6 months of pain, are showing at least some signs of that pain easing. Is there more pain in the offing? Only time will tell, but at least there are signs that the worst may be behind us. Okay. Now what we will do is we will look at all-time highs, some names that generally we don't discuss. From the realty space, Anand Raj, 779, 1.8% higher. Sakshi, Polycab is back with a vengeance, 7500 for you. Then behind your back, lots of exciting things were happening on MCX.
Okay.
It was at 3400 in July, 6800 now, 6500. Okay. And there's no stopping Glenmark, and there's no stopping Persistent. Now the only issue, ladies and gentlemen, is that all these prices are high 4 digits. We consistently mark record highs in a stagnating to weak market to tell you where money is moving in times of crisis, and those are the stocks that you should track. The moment you see a dip in them, perhaps at 20 EMA, if God willing 50 EMA, that's the time to probably kick in. Angel broking was sub 2800 yesterday. It's up 3200 now. Just check the chart and you will realize what I'm trying to say. Swati, before we let you go, good BTSTs or STVTs, would you want to go short on the market?
See, I will not short the market at the current level because really this counter indices is just hovering near by the averages level itself. At any point of time, we witness some sort of a reversal. So it's basically a stock specific market, which I have mentioned it out. If looking towards stock specific market, I would like to suggest two buy calls. One is on the MOL. This particular stock is really doing very well on the monthly setup. As of now, it's giving a 5 to 6% returns. If we look on a larger degree, it has given a very strong formations or say the support formation between the range of 85 to 90 levels, and we have seen a reversal. Currently, the counter is trading at 106 level. I believe it has a very strong potential to reach up to 125 to 130. So those who are looking for a short period of a time, at least 2 to 3 months, definitely one can go for a long at the current market price by keeping a stop loss of a 90 levels for a target of a 130. Another interesting pack is Triveni Turbine. This stocks really looks very good on the technical setups. Trading nearby its all-time high also. All-time high comes at around 1843. CMP is 1821. Why I'm recommending this particular counter? Because it has given the formation of a flag pattern on the daily chart and given the breakout of the same with the very good volumes. Well placed above all the important moving averages in such kind of a market. It's giving a very good performance along with the price and the volume momentums. So the upside I'm target looking for at least 860 to 870 levels. So one can go for a long at CMP by maintaining a stop loss of 780 for a target of 860 to 870 levels on the high side.
Okay, got it. So that's where money could be seen moving into. Let's look at some more stocks which are actually on the move in trade today. When we look at the broader markets, RPSG Ventures is doing well today, about 5-6% higher in trade. Then you have stocks like Sangvi Movers, Suprajit Engineering. Some of these auto ancillaries are doing very well in trade today. Let's ask Swati, in case she can pick out any names for us. Swati, Igrashi Motors, Suprajit Engineering, Jamna Auto, Subros, Munjal Auto, they are all actually doing very well. Do you think it's the incoming of Hyundai IPO that's further fueling fire in these auto ancillary names?
Yeah, among those particular counter, definitely I would like to go with the Sangvi Movers because this particular stock is really doing very well on the technical setups. Even though we have seen a sharp correction from 600 to 350 levels, and after that we have seen a very strong reversals with the good volumes. Current market price, I will not initiate a buy call, but definitely any dips towards to 420 or 410 levels, a support provided by its 20 DMA. At that point of time, definitely one can go for a long positions. On a larger degree, I'm looking for a target of 540 to 550 levels. And another interesting pack I'm looking forward on the auto pack is Munjal Auto. This particular stock on a larger degree is giving a very strong breakouts. Already has given a breakout of a 120 levels with the good volumes from the last few trading sessions, even though the market was correcting, but this counter is really holding its very strong support of a 125 levels. So definitely one can go for a long position in this particular counters. I'm looking for a target of 160 to 170. So those two counters are really very strong from this particular sector.
Okay. In terms of Sakshi continuing long side trends, maybe these stocks will be worth a watch. Look at Mazgaon. I am again marking a 3% uptick because now the volume is 2.6 times 2.6 times the 5-day average. HPCL again 200% higher volume and the counter is up 4%. You have another small ticket item, high beta. L&T Finance, this one is coming to you, Swati. 168 on the charts, 1.5% higher, and a very strong volume show, about 125% above 5-day average. What are the charts of L&T Finance telling you, Swati? I'll request the PCI to fire a slightly longer term chart. You will see a swing trade in the making. This is a bounce from 200 DMA.
Yes, Shelji, definitely. You rightly pointed out the stock is struggling or say the hovering near its 200-day moving average, which comes to around 169 to 170 levels. The way we have seen a correction, we have already noticed from the last few months that it touches the feet of 200 DMA. One day we might see some low closing below that level, but on the very next day we see a very good amount of a rally or the reversal from that support levels towards to the new high. So looking towards the today's momentum, I believe if we are getting a closing any move above 170 level today or the day after tomorrow, definitely one can create a long positions, but not at the current momentum. Let the stock give the breakout of 170, then definitely one should enter for a target of 185 to 190 levels. Up to that level, we can witness some sort of a reversal. Whereas a downside, it has a very good support of a 165. So as long as 165 to 160, that is the very support zone. So unless and until it doesn't give the breakdown of that levels, the view will remain a positive in this particular counter.
Okay. Before we let you go, Swati, would you want to comment on Reliance for two reasons? One, the news is out. Two, earnings were less than expected by the market, and of course the stock has corrected 2%, a further 2%. All-time high was 3100, now almost 2700. What are the medium-term charts telling you on Reliance? What would be a good entry point? Let me ask a counter question. What would be a good entry point?
Yes, this month we have seen almost correction of 8 to 9% in this particular counter. The day it has given the breakdown is on this month itself, on the 3rd of October. We have seen a breakdown of 200 DMA. There onwards, it has given a signal of a sell sign on the technical front. Now, downside, it has a very crucial support nearby, at least 2600 or 2550. That 50 point is the very strong support zone. So, those who are looking for any long positions can create and wait on any dips towards to 2550 levels, can create a long position. These are the supports provided, which has been a previous swing high, which has been formed in the year of 22 to 23 in calendar year. So that will act as a very strong support level. So fresh longs can be created any move if you are getting dips of 100 points more downside, 2550 levels will be the very right level to take a long positions, but not at the current market price.
Okay, so that's as far as Reliance Industries also goes. You know, the power space has slowly and gradually pulled up a lot of stocks in trade today. We began by talking about PFC, REC right in the morning, but look at a transformers and rectifiers, that's up 5% circuit. You have stocks like Voltam Transformers, 4.5%, CESE, Inox Wind, GETND. All of them upwards of 4% is what I can see across the board. NTPC was on the move in the morning as well. Is there more power in this space left? Swati, what would you really say here, or is the best of the rally behind?
Yes, actually, we have already seen a very good kind of a momentum in this particular counters. Now, I believe we might witness some sort of a profit booking in this particular sectors, but definitely one should be a very stock specific, even though the sector is looking very positive. So, whatever the names you have taken out, if we do the comparative analysis between those counters, Inox Wins really looks positive on this particular from this particular pack. Why I'm saying that, because the stock has given a very strong support, taking a strong support of 100 DMA, and we are witnessing a reversal from that level. So I believe those who are having any long position in this particular stock, hold on. No wonder short period of time we might witness some sort of a correction, but on a larger degree the chart looks very interesting, and I'm looking forward a reversal up to at least 250 to 260 levels. So this particular stocks looks good. Apart from that, the other stocks, one should definitely books their profits on every rise.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's 3:28, time to wrap up the market. Swati, thank you so much for the wonderful discourse on technicals. We hope to welcome you again shortly, and we will also keep an eye out on the 2 or 3 stocks that you mentioned. Sakshi, would you just wrap up the market?
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Swati. It was great to be in touch with you to understand more about markets. 54 points lower in trade as far as the Nifty is concerned. 25,000 has still sustained. 25,073 right now for the Nifty. When we look at the top sectors on the Nifty, it's the realty space that's inched higher even further towards the closing of the session. 2% up in trade. You have small caps that are up over 1% as well. Again, pulled up in trade in the latter half of the trading session. You can see that the volumes also picked up pace towards the latter half. Media, FMCG, consumer durables, Nifty Bank largely limited to the heavyweights like ICICI Bank. Mid-caps, financial services and infra remained in the green. What did not perform well among sectors was the metals index that was down by 1.4% in trade today. Autos, pharma, IT also saw a lot of profit booking right after the morning enthusiasm. Oil and gas and the PSU banks also slipped in the red. Top movers on the Nifty today, BPCL 2.5% higher in trade. ICICI Bank follows up 2%. Britannia, Bharti Airtel, BEL and Asian Paints were the other top performers as far as the Nifty is concerned. On the downside, after the earnings, HDFC Life has slipped about 3.5% lower in trade. Bajaj Auto, Wipro, Bajaj Finance, Hindalco, Reliance Industries, these were the stocks that were seen dragging over 2% each. Now, when we look at the FNO space, HPCL was the top performer, 4.5% higher. Deepak Nitrite pulled up in trade, 3% up. India Mart, Intermesh, Berger Paints and Godrej Properties were the other big movers. On the downside, however, you did see stocks like Steel Authority, Hindalco, Gujarat Narmada Valley, Bajaj Finance, Jindal Steel and Power, Bandhan Bank. These were the stocks that in fact dragged in trade right there. So with that, we'll wrap up the trade. You have the screen frozen at 25,066, down 61 odd points. It's been a quiet day, a range-bound day for the markets, but several of the stocks that pulled up. Let's look at Angel One to see the final print of the stock of the day, that it remained. Remember, we started to talk about Angel One right in the morning before the markets opened, and we had pointed out that Angel One is the stock that you need to watch out for today because of the earnings bonanza. 18% higher, near to the day's high is where it ends, above 3,200 odd levels. And of course, the capital markets related stocks that were in the thickest of action. Look at Motilal Oswal, also about 11.5% higher in trade is what you've seen. Even MOFSL closing in. Stocks like CDSL, CAMS, JM Financial, these were the stocks that were also in the thickest of action. 361 WAM, these were the stocks that were in the thick of action. We'll continue to track the markets for you and even beyond, the business prospects as well. So stay tuned with us on Business Today Television. There's a lot more lined up even beyond the stock market hours. We will also be getting you earnings specific interactions as well. So stay tuned.
Mumbai, the city that never sleeps, has received its latest architectural gift, the Mumbai Metro 3 or the Aqua line. This is a 33.5 kilometer long metro line in Mumbai, which is Mumbai's first fully underground metro line and also India's longest continuously operated underground metro tracks. And about 1/3 of this line is currently operational from the RA depot station to the BKC station, which is right behind me. So we explored these stations, took a trip in this newest metro line to understand what is the tech behind this newest engineering marvel in Mumbai. It's fully underground, so you can only see the entrances to the stations, but the RA depot station is the only station that is on ground. Right now it's completely empty, of course, because not a lot of people are traveling on this metro line, but at its capacity, each metro train can accommodate over 2,000 passengers in a single trip. Now, Mumbai's traffic congestion needs no